very last game of the day.
I'm eager to see what we get served up in the map generator.
Hopefully it's something terrible. All right. Yes. Yeah, this is not looking particularly pleasant. So, final round of our casual FFA. We've got Evil Cat and Hexapus with us, NC Game Wizard doing some commentary, and we have given our players apparently a truly, truly atrocious map that I would never want to visit in a million years.
You know, with scientists, it's not looking so bad.
And scientists, you can make it happen.
I'm definitely seeing one spot that I want to call the best, which right in the middle you can see there's that aluminum, that iron, and that dry ice. So as a scientist and a geo, I mean, that's kind of icing on the cake. You could make it work. Water's never going to be pleasant, so you just, as a scientist, say, we're going to go patent lab, we're going to get slant drilling, we'll fix that.
An expansive HQ has been founded.
There are also core samples, by the way. Core samples.
HQ has been founded.
Potentially very important here. No nukes as well, so...
Yes, we have gotten some very nice games.
Pretty guaranteed.
Very nice games for our players with regard to nukes.
They're pretty devastating when they're around, but if you can avoid them by not having them on the market, I guess that's one way to deal with it. Evil Diablo and Cat being a little bit slow on the 3rd and 4th found here. Evil Diablo going to go ahead and take number 3. Cat finishes us off with number 4. Expensive Steel is keeping any of our players from upgrading super fast this game, but I imagine it shouldn't be too long before the ball really gets rolling.
And I get why he did it.
To claim the water, yeah.
Yeah, because...
I don't mind it, because water's 40.
Right.
He just needs to sell the water down.
With steel at 120, it's going to be a pain, but yes, it's doable.
Ooh, mutiny. Hexapus can't even respond to that for another 30 seconds. A little bit sad for him, but not surprising. A low iron, low aluminum tile, definitely valuable this game, and it was Cat who took it away.
Hex first to 2. I guess.
An elite HQ has been upgraded.
Morgan first to 2, but Hex and Evil Diablo following very, very closely behind. Hexapus could have been there a little bit sooner, I think, if water a little bit faster, but not necessarily a huge deal. That is a lot of iron for Hexapus down. He is going to get that iron tile that he already had back at some point. I don't know if it was necessary for him to commit to quite that much.
Hypothetically, he could transition it. Geothermal borehole not out of the question, so there's that. But steel is falling off a cliff, as you can see. Our elite and Morgan have both basically decided they were just going to take steel. So maybe just with the consumption that's going on that's not being met, it'll pay out. But I think it looks like Cat's going into a transition that'll fix that problem for her. Morgan's only temporarily indisposed because of this mutiny, and Evil Diablo could probably sell some iron if he really wanted to.
Yeah, he's actually selling iron. He's auto-selling that iron right now. He took it away from... So he's got a nice surplus of iron running at the moment, and he's actually using it to get ahead. He's got more cash than anybody else at this phase of the game, and he does have enough silicon coming in that he's going to hit 3 first, and as an elite player, that's a pretty comfortable spot to be in.
Yes, deciding he wants that geo, I think I'm okay with that. He probably has the steel income to provide for it.
The black market is online.
Yeah, I'm fine with it.
Though he is going out of steel. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know if he can actually make glass. No, actually make glass yet. There we go. This is all a lot more reasonable. Just get into...
New land.
Go ahead and get the condensers down. They don't cost too much. They have no inputs, so they're going to be fun. And you can just establish that geo a little bit later.
Little worried about the silicon shipping that's going on for Evil Diablo. That would be, when I look at what I'm concerned with here, he doesn't really have the water he needs to make fuel. If he doesn't go into a patent lab tomorrow, he's never really going to have the water that he needs to make fuel.
I mean, he can always... He is an elite player, so he wants to be a little bit slow to the patent lab. That is his prerogative. This is going to be a stupid Pleasure Dome spot, by the way. This is going to be quite good. It is not often that you see a game with 3 expansive players and an elite.
Yes.
And this already has 3 habitats. So, for players who don't know, the Pleasure Dome's income is based on the population of the region of Mars that you are in. Different headquarters provide different levels of population. The elite provides the most. level of population. Next up is the expansive colony, though. And then the habitats also increase population. So this is an exceedingly high population map, and it's only going to keep going up as time goes on. Pleasure Dome is already worth at a base
HQ has been upgraded.
$224 per second with Cat's upgrade.
I didn't know that elites contributed more to that. That's surprising to me, but that's good information to have.
Yeah,
So-
elites are the top. Used to be
Let's-
expansive, then elites got added.
Let's talk for a brief second here. Hexapus, when he was down at 2, as you mentioned, his stupidly good Pleasure Dome spot, couldn't actually use it if he wanted to, because at level 2, of course, you can't get to that hacker
Can't
array in
build
that
a
Pleasure
Pleasure.
Dome. Right. And so
The
he
black
put himself in
market is
D-level
open for
debt for a
business.
tile that is currently sitting completely unused. Looks like it's going to be sitting unused in the near-term future, and the price of power is going insane. So unless he wants to put a solar panel on it, hard for me to see a way for that tile to actually start paying out the way he needs it to right this second. Because starting tomorrow, not in D anymore, he's on the slide to $1 a unit.
Yeah, I blame these iron tiles.
Yeah.
That's just all I have to say. It's too much iron at the start of the game. It just was.
He is,
And you just can't afford that. It's
He is
just pretty much that
going solar.
simple.
he is
Yeah.
putting some solar up, so
He can go solar all he wants to.
he has a goon
Still
squad.
just shouldn't have had those iron tiles. I mean, he's already in D+1.
Yes.
Solar panels, just a pair of them, aren't going to solve this problem on their own. They need to be backed up by a Geo, potentially.
Yes.
And Hexapus is just going to need to pray that everybody else gets in each other's way, because he's off to a very bad start here with this much debt. Meanwhile, Evil Diablo just keeps chugging along. He's moved on into glass. He
Cat-
has enough silicon coming in to support it. He's in a great spot.
Cat sitting on 2 Geos,
Mm-hmm.
best debt in the game, got a hold of
How could
Hexapus'
one
Geo.
refuse such a wonderful plot of
Hexapus
land?
would have
Yeah,
been
I did notice
really
that.
hoping. Yeah. So definitely room here for Cat to make this game more about what's going on with her versus what's going on with Evil Diablo, of course. But will it happen? Is of course the
The
question.
elite has an upgrade lead, and that's such a big deal for the player to have the lead upgrades. Oh, it's just fantastic for him.
Congratulations.
And the black market
is
is
online.
looking really, really absurdly cheap for
It
the
is.
elite to have as big of an elite as a lead as he does. I mean, when someone gets an HQ level ahead of you, that's the signal. You know, that's time to start.
Well, as we see.
Yes.
Yeah, so black market is going to be coming down a little bit
Expansive
aggressively. We
HQ
had a
has been
bunch of
upgraded.
start of the game, and then everybody backed off and picked up goon squads, mostly to defend Geos, it seems. So it was kind of understandable that we had a small lull in the black market, but it really should be picking up and used quite heavily from this stage moving forward in this game. There's so many tools available here. Power surges, dynamite, mutinies, both, which is going to make off-worlds pretty ridiculous if they come this game.
Evil Diablo,
So many good tools.
I want to say, has the advantage here just because even though he's not using necessarily his farm tiles most effectively, he doesn't quite have enough, and nobody really has enough for food. Evil Diablo is the one who has that glass, which is $300 a month. And farms, they only cost 10 glass, but at $3,000 a farm, you know, not even talking about price increases, that is a painful upfront
The
cost,
black
and it's
market
very
is
nice
open for business.
to be able to manufacture.
Absolutely. It definitely is. Hexapus is still alive. I'll give him that.
Yes,
That's about all I can say for him. The Pleasure Dome is insane.
indeed.
I mean, Evil Diablo's
Defended,
got
but
his...
insane.
Yeah, it is not defended. Which other players really should have gotten aggressive against that, because Hexapus has been in absurd amounts of debt since he put it down, basically. He does have the mutiny to spare, although just got rid of it after an elemental quarry. I don't think attacking the elemental quarry back was ever the correct decision there, because you just go after the Pleasure Dome. Just go after the Pleasure Dome. It's so good. Now, Evil Diablo's Pleasure Dome, also very, very strong. Finally, we saw some dynamite land, which I guess is fine.
Yeah.
It's
The
it's
black
not
market
displaying
is
the correct
online.
amount of money just yet. Will be in just a moment. 646 is what he's getting, but he has to ship chemicals out, and every single time you disrupt that building, it's got to get like a new chemicals out there before it'll get started again. And with both mutinies and dynamite available, People want to be aggressive against this pleasure dome. It's a very scary pleasure dome indeed.
Freelance pirates are auctioning their services to the highest bidder.
One thing that's always important to keep in mind when you're using your black market is, can I make my black market make me money? Which the answer is, of course, you can. You know, that's where good level play comes in, is finding ways to cause demand and just cleaning up off of what would be your opponent's money. In this particular case, we're in a spot where blowing up that pleasure dome changed the way the colony was handling its entertainment demand, and actually gave Evil Diablo money.
So
and when you're talking about $3,000, that's $646 a second. Even the 30 seconds, let's say, that Hexapus's dome is offline is still
I
a
hate those
profit.
filthy bandits.
Profit that is slowing Hexapus down to make. That's where the real I keep saying high level, but I mean that's what it is. Real good play is making money from your hits. Just stop
Network
those.
virus.
Has been upgraded.
Network virus is gonna bust up that goon squad. By the way, I don't think we have this pleasure
Is
dome.
completed. I wonder what
Evil
goes
Diablo
on
once
there.
again first to 5, so he's still gonna be in such a great spot. I do want to point out, by the way, Hexapus got some nice hits on the core sample over here, and he actually has a pair of high water tiles.
Yes.
So that's going to be pretty nice this game when water is such a huge pain. Once again, if he can survive. Hexapus keeps having to pay down so much debt just to stay alive. These interest ticks have really been doing
An
serious
expansive
massive damage to him
HQ
this
has
game.
been upgraded.
Cat has a pleasure. There it is.
HQ has been upgraded.
Cat has a hologrammed pleasure dome. This is probably what I would have done game, rather than worry about getting the adjacency bonuses from the habitats, because they do provide a bonus to a pleasure dome if it's next to them. Instead, you could just use a hologram
black market
and keep
is
it hidden
open for
at your
business.
base. It's such a valuable building, even without those bonuses, that I think that might have been the better call, so you can avoid the disruptions from the plentiful dynamite and mutinies this game.
Right. And of course, getting in something like $190 a second. Yeah, hold on. There's a button for this. Oh, it just says 256. That's not helpful. Okay, well, getting in, yeah, some degree.
It's about 190 though total. Yeah, if you're counting the debt part. So yeah,
Makes
it's
it
a nice move by Cat.
better
good.
than if it were a steelman. You know? So that's always something
it's
to
all-
be thinking about.
It's also a lot better than if it were blown up.
Right.
The patent lab is constructed. Let's get
Minor
our
details,
science
just
on.
throwing it out there. All right. We are starting to see some actual advanced buildings come out of our players, by the way. A lot of focused on getting upgraded because upgrades are so strong on the expansive factions in particular.
Yes.
And on the elite faction, well, if you can keep upgrading, often that's a nice thing to
The
go ahead
engineers have
and do.
advanced our production.
But we do see optimization centers coming down. We see patent labs
Nothing
coming down.
stops
So we'll
productivity
just try and
quite
keep an
like an
eye on what these
electromagnetic
players pick up
pulse.
as they get
Available
it.
for
There's just a
auction
lot
now.
of this going on all at once. And
Diablo
EMP auction.
optimizing his glass, which I think it's good money there, but it's maybe not the way forward, just because of the fact that it looks like the demand for glass, yeah, just dropped off there.
No, you're right. There is one optimization now, and it's chemicals.
When you're an elite, and you get that optimization center, if you can get all 4 optimizations, you get a claim. So when you hit those optimizations, you
Congratulations.
want to be very, very careful to be looking at not just what is going to be valuable right now, but what's going to be valuable in the 5 minutes from now when I've gotten that 4th optimization in. Because not only do you want those buildings to be useful, but then there's the extra claim to think about. He's probably not going to get 4 optimizations in on this glass.
And if he does, it's not going to be all that great to have done.
Right.
Trained, but like, what's the point in optimizing glass that much if glass isn't actually making
Our
all that
methods
much money?
continue to
That's why
improve.
I say chemicals are the option here. You've got 5 optimization centers and
The
2
black
patent labs on
market
the
is
board.
online.
Chemicals are a really easy thing to just go ahead and crank out all the way to 4. And it also guarantees that your optimization will stay active later in the game, which is the thing you want to do as an elite because it gets you more claims. It's just, that's almost always the correct decision as elites to optimize first is those chems, and this game is no exception to that general rule.
The cheaper you make those chems, the easier optimizations get, as well as power.
We caught a
The fact
dirty
that
rat trying to
optimizations
break our
consume
stuff.
chemicals in order to actually get them. So a lot of players look at it as, oh, I need $9,000, you know, to get that first chem optimization. But it's like, really, you need 40 seconds and some planning, and 9,000 will just show up.
Optimization
true.
routine successful.
So 2 players are simultaneously going after an
Optimization
off-world
center is
market,
ready.
by the way. We've got
Time
Morgan
to start improving everything.
off in his corner going for one. It's hologrammed, and Hexapus in his corner going for one. It's also Hexapus still back at HQ4 though. I can understand going for the market, but honestly, on-world prices are so good that it feels really hard to pass up that move to 5 and those 6 additional claims you get out of it.
Morgan, of course, using that that downloadable content for the different cosmetics for your advanced buildings. He has that really nice looking red rocket building,
Off-world
which
market
of course
is assembled.
means it makes more
fortune
money.
awaits. The black
Oh yeah,
market
obvious.
is
That's how
open
it
for
works,
business.
right? I mean, pay to win, just all around. He's got the best patent lab, so it's just gonna clean up, you know, thinking
Absolutely.
machines
I mean, look
faster
Engineers
than
have
Cat's
advanced our
patent lab,
production.
right? Because it is honestly though, it's a Rubik's cube that solves itself, and I enjoy that.
Does. It really solves itself while it's doing the patent. You can watch it. That is, that's the king of the cosmetic DLC is the Patent Lab Rubik's Cube. But I really
VRAM
like
is
the
available for
optimization
option.
center that Morgan's gone with and the off-world. Just if we could take a second to just, you know, toot the graphics department's horn for a second.
Yeah, good job, Josh.
I'll tell you something.
That's his name. It's Josh. It's his name. This is fine.
That's
He
my
did good.
name too, so you just freaked me out a little bit. Just
Okay, that's good.
a little bit, just a little bit. But yeah, good job, Josh. Not me.
Yeah,
Other Josh.
yeah. So, getting back to it, I still really like Evil Diablo's position,
Sold.
and he survived, but he has a lot of debt. And these optimization centers, they've given him 1 claim so far, headed into next. But he needs to keep these optimization centers running, and I think that now is about when he wants to be looking at a patent lab,
Yes.
because he wants to start securing
Our
those
methods
good
continue to
patents. He
improve.
really wants virtual reality. For example, I'm amazed virtual reality hasn't picked up yet this game. Just throwing it out there. But nanotech could also be good, and thinking machines could also be good if you're worried about long-term getting those off-world markets down. Superconductor plus geothermal borehole would be incredible for him to help with this debt situation. I just really want to see that patent lab come down once
Cat-
he's got these cam optimizations done.
It's the only one who has
Optimization
been
routine
even
successful.
semi-responsible with the debt situation.
It's true. Everybody else has gotten a bit ridiculous.
Yes.
And she's been making good money on it.
And it'll be interesting to see whether or not just how much revenue is made by these off-worlds makes up for it. Because sea level is
The
kind of where
engineers
you
have
want to be
advanced our
if
production.
you're going to be in any debt at all when you're in an off-world. Just because it's bad, yes, but it's not D-level debt. You're not getting those 40% debt ticks yet, which means that off-world, that $40,000, that's a lot of debt just to go away in 60
Our
seconds. And
methods
of course, the
continue
day is
to
a lot
improve.
longer than 60 seconds. So it'll be interesting to see if, in the end of the day, our money wins out, or whether or not just, you know, revenue, just straight revenue,
Just straight profits.
right?
So
Yep.
let's see. Yeah, Off-Worlds, they're launching for decent profits right now. I'm not super impressed by them just yet. I mean, they're a little bit better
Optimization routine
than
successful.
Pleasure Domes, but honestly not by a huge amount.
Yeah.
But, you know, that's just going to keep going up as the game goes on. As players get their optimizations finished, they'll knock prices down more. The off-world market price will continue to rise. But the question is, do you survive long enough to benefit off of it? I have a feeling that for Hexapus, the answer is going to be no. But Morgan certainly still has a shot to get these things done this game. And Cat, sitting a lot of money,
Yes.
can potentially start playing Kingmaker.
Morgan playing it smart, not getting involved
Our
in the
engineers
the
have
stock
advanced our production.
price. Whenever this inevitably happens and Hexapus gets bought, because it's not inevitable, I should say, but you know, when the likely happens, because
How
of just
could
the
one
fact that he doesn't have
refuse
his
such a
stock and everybody
wonderful
else
plot
has
of
theirs, you're going to be thinking, who else is in that subsidiary? Who's a threat? Who has bothered me? And Morgan's just kind of, don't look at me. You know, I'm down here in the corner, I'm away from everyone, not flying over you, not impacting you. So time will tell whether or not him having all of that stock and that off-world will pay off as compared to Evil Diablo and Cat.
Congratulations.
But Evil Diablo and Cat kind of getting on each other's radar in the stock game right now.
It's true. Let's see. Cat actually starting to get there when it comes to taking down Hexa. Getting that bike, really big deal this game, because it's 5 chunk of top stock, and that's certainly nice, but also those 2 extra claims prices have been really, really strong this game. And so having those 2 extra claims
Yes.
can potentially be a lot of extra money in your pocket long term. And with the extra stock boost you get from owning all that stock, then that can give you enough time to make a lot of profit off your 2 spare claims. All right, slant drilling coming out of that. I don't mind it. Seems pretty good.
Evil Diablo is finally starting to get in some of those full optimizations. He's got 3, and he's working his way towards his 4th one right
The
now.
engineers have advanced
They
leisure
all
dash
look
is
really
fully
valuable.
operational.
This is what I want to see the optimizations look like. Perfect, 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 perfect. Now, I'm a little bit surprised he hasn't optimized steel. At any point, steel's
Our methods
extremely
continue
valuable, and
to
it's also
improve.
something nice to optimize if you're even thinking about getting into an off-world.
Right.
But his markets are still looking pretty strong. I mean, the glass is
Optimization routine
good.
successful.
Similar situation with food. It's a life support resource. It's probably going to be good. Ooh. Hexapus, starting out on Evil Diablo. That's interesting. I don't know what to think about that just yet as Evil Diablo. It's great if you get the buy
Right.
and recover that stock. That's fine, not a big deal. But if Cat gets to it first, or if
The
Hexapus
engineers
sells
have
back
advanced their
out,
production.
suddenly you're in a sketchy spot, and Cat, not interested in taking down Hexapus, is just going to also go straight into Evil Diablo. Oh boy. Everybody wants to knock this elite down. They know how dangerous this game.
That's the trouble with being an elite, is
Our
a lot
methods
of what
continue
you
to
have to
improve.
do in order to be successful is based off of people letting you get it done.
I mean, he's had time this game, though. No
Yeah.
doubt about that. And we still haven't seen a patent lab out of him. That's something that I consider a mistake by now. He would have saved a lot of fuel with teleportation. For example, he could have made a lot of power money
Your
and not
stock
had
is
nearly
being
as much
sold.
debt with superconductor,
And
geothermal
so
formula.
high, he
Land is
might have been
available
thinking
for
about the
auction.
licensing problem, where when an elite actually gets a hold of a patent somebody else has, you hand them some insignificant amount of chemicals, 10, 20, you know, but when chemicals are $300 a unit, 20 chemicals,
It can matter. It can matter.
it might be
Come on,
something you're
virtual-
disincentivized from doing, but yes.
Virtual reality, though.
It's-
Virtual reality.
When him using these solar condensers, just due to the fact that they don't really make as much carbon and oxygen as you would want, it's very difficult for him, at least from my perspective, to find places to put the patent lab without sacrificing
Sold.
the optimizations. And if, you know, you think about it, if I could get those 4 optimizations and I get that free claim, that could be a
The
patent lab.
optimization center
So,
is online.
there's-
Let the planned
I
obsolescence
agree.
begin.
He should be in a patent lab by now. I 100% agree. But I can see psychologically why he might be having problems getting there, especially in D-level debt when you're not sure you can actually defend. Spies around too. Like it's a really nasty time to not be able to buy a King Squad for $50,000.
Really is. I don't know who's going to win this game.
Yeah.
That's what I can say about it at this point. Morgan's got 2 off. Those are looking much better now, by the
Right?
way.
I
This is
kind of want to
launching-
say Cat's gonna get a hold of Evil Diablo,
For sure.
and then Subsidiary will push it. But
I mean, it's very close between Morgan and Cat. Who gets to take down Evil Diablo?
yes,
If either of them do, Evil Diablo might just amount of money. Probably not, but you know,
Optimization
it's an option.
routine
those
successful.
I've done that as an elite
off-worlds
before.
are just
It's the off-worlds that I'm looking at, yeah.
nearly
They're so good.
insurmountable in Morgan's favor, especially if people don't kind of get wind, you know, that
Yeah.
they're around.
Off-world shipment launched.
Nobody's attacked
Look
them
at
yet,
all the
so
money.
that would indicate to me that nobody knows. Morgan was the player who picked up thinking machines.
He also picked up financial instruments and
engineers
just
have
picked up
advanced our
$12,000, which is a nice
The
feather in
black
your hat.
market is online.
Evil
fine.
Diablo's debt.
It's fine.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that
Yeah.
at all.
We'll get there. It's all right. Pretty good.
Takes a
Let's
little
see,
bit
I'm
of
wondering if
sting on the
Morgan-
black market.
What a payout.
So Morgan now desperately wants the Evil Diablo purchase if he can get to it, because Evil Diablo has decided that Morgan is the bigger threat
Yes.
and the easier one to acquire. Morgan needs about 220,000 more to clean this up. Evil Diablo needs about 260,000 more. So it might come down somewhat to these off-world market timings compared to just Evil Diablo's
Our methods
constant
continue to
flood
improve.
of cash. This power surge, very important for shutting down some of that from Evil Diablo. But this is where an elite player
Successful
shines. Cat
off-world
selling out of her
shipment.
own stock,
Make room for the
trying to
profits.
push for enough, maybe, to take down Morgan? Is that what she's going to do? What's
yes,
happening here?
This is what we're seeing. This is a crazy game.
She wants to try and take down Morgan.
Yeah.
Because that's the only reason to sell out of both and Evil Diablo.
She's going to
put
take a swing at the king. She better not miss.
571 is what she requires to get that done. It's also making it just a little bit harder for Morgan to take down Evil Diablo as she's selling out of that stock. You can see it's very, very, very close.
The black market is open for
between
business.
Evil Diablo and Morgan right now. So maybe this just tips the scales enough that Morgan can't bring him down, and Cat manages to get to that purchase. I have no idea what's about to happen.
Cat bought into Evil Diablo, so yeah.
Did she?
No, she
I
sold.
thought she
Never
sold
mind,
out.
sorry.
She sold.
Morgan bought
She's
into Evil Diablo. Sorry.
Evil Diablo gets it done. Took down Morgan. Oh man.
Okay, so.
Oh man.
I
think that means Evil Diablo
yeah.
is probably gonna. I really messed this up.
Well.
Yeah. So I think Cat wanted to bring Morgan down and get those extra claims and try and hold on, but I don't know. I honestly think Cat didn't really have much game from a little bit late to the off-worlds. Honestly, just not making enough money to really get anything done. Evil Diablo was such a massive threat, you kind of needed to take him down, but if you did, Morgan already had those off-worlds running that whole time. It's just...
Catch-22 is what it is.
Yeah, and that's kind of what happens when you get to the late... You haven't set yourself well enough for it compared to all the rest of these players. Is you do end up in a spot where if they play correctly, it's basically impossible for you to win the game yourself.
And yet, Evil Diablo's stock tanking, and he's in D+7, so...
But still, I mean, Cat needs another 400, 500... Oh, she just finished an Off-World too, so yeah, she needs like another 500 to clean this up. Evil Diablo only needs another 3. Power Surges won't last forever. He's still making absurd amounts of money because of these optimizations. I mean, it's a lot less than but, you know... Perfect glass technology, yeah, glass is in the tank, but you're still making 70 a second tile. It's not too bad, all things considered.
So, current
And the
strategy.
subsidiaries are what are going to clean it up. It's the subs.
Yeah, current strategy is subsidiaries lose their goon squads and pay off their debt when they get purchased, which means that if you know something is a subsidiary and has those off-worlds and you have a mutiny or two sitting around, you have a guaranteed hit that someone has to spend a mutiny to stop you or some other black market item that is money. So right now the current meta is attack subsidiaries off-worlds. So be doing that.
Yep.
Yeah. Just as a...
That's a nice move.
Yeah.
It's not going to make a single bit of difference in the world this game as Evil Diablo cleans up the game and takes the victory with 4.1 points to Cat's 3, Hexapus's 2, and Morgan's 1.
Oh, really good games from Evil Diablo there.
But, man, that was a nice game to clean us up today. That was a bit of a weird game. Completely misread stocks at the end, says Cat. Yeah, that was a hard situation to read. That's why I'm sitting here going, I have more time to think about it. I had no idea how that game would play out. I didn't even want to think about being in that spot as one of the players trying to figure out that stock.
Cat, you were not the only one who misread the stocks a little bit. Yeah.
It was so close. Like, I might be kind of mad if I was because I'd be thinking, but if Cat had stayed... But honestly, Evil Diablo played a pretty solid game there, and having that long to get the optimizations up. He actually stopped at some point in optimizing. He only got the 5 extra claims, and then he just switched straight into, I want to make a ton of money. I'm going to make a ton of money. I'm not even going to commit any more cash into long-term play. I need this money now. And that's when he started taking people down. So it worked out very well for him.
It did.
Rookie mistake of being scared of Morgan's big red number.
It can be hard to do the right thing. I've had multiple games where people have told me, you should have cleaned it up because, and I told them someone was going to buy me. It's hard to tell. When you're in the moment, when you're even watching as an objective person, it can be hard to just have that complete knowledge of, will they go to 99 and I get the buy, or is it going to... Exactly.
Kind of glad you lost. That's the sentiment we're aiming for here. I know that feeling. one gets in my way, and it's like you've made it so that it's really, really, really hard for me to win the game. So
Yes.
I might not focus on winning the game, and I might just focus on making you lose. Because if we're going down together.
When you're playing with players of this caliber and you don't necessarily know who they are because of the masquerade, it's always better to hit someone because you know whoever you're going to hit is going to be good. So you need to equalize.
It's true. That is a fact. And these players were pretty evenly matched. I mean, Hexapus fell from the dead, but we saw that everybody was kind of keeping up with each other right to the end there. So that was a really nice game to clean us up for the day. I'm going to check real quick and see if any of the other streams are continuing. Looks like Blue's stream has finished up.
Now we can say elites are good.
I mean, I think elite is definitely in the playable category.
I would say playable. Yeah. I would.
Yeah. It's not like you can use it every single game.
Right.
There are times, and this apparently was one of those times. Just saying. Well, it was also really nice because didn't Evil Diablo come down pretty late there?
I believe so.
So you already know, I think he might have even been last, which means you know that there's not scavengers and there's not nomads, and that's kind of what you're worried about as an elite because they can shut you down so much more effectively by getting a lead early and then just knocking you out. So since all the other players are looking to do a very few, because they're all expansive and they just want to sit back and upgrade the whole time, you just kind of do that, but a little bit better.
I think
long term.
Getting ahead in those upgrades that
was a big deal.
Should have been an immediate signal, and they did immediately start hitting him right about when I commentated that it hadn't happened yet, and they kind of kept on it, but it's just, the elite doesn't stop being dangerous because they got ahead when you caught up to them.
Yeah.
We'll just put it that way.
There might have needed to be like an aggressive cooperative move to take down Evil rather than like Morgan's push into Offworlds.
You look at
that's
that
one that
debt.
you could watch back and keep seeing what was going on. That debt.
When you see that debt, you have to believe that Evil Diablo could have been tipped sooner, and the lack of goon squads hypothetically could have affected it.
That's probably true. I mean, he kind of got away with murder by only having one geotherm for power the whole time. Yeah. Right. That's pretty gross.
He still didn't go borehole.
Yeah, or superconductor.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Those are both open.
Yes.
You can benefit from them because it's just like, I don't need to make power anymore this game. I just have it.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Still, good win. Very good win out of Evil Diablo. Good play out of everybody who competed today.
Yep, that was a nice way to clean this up. Now, if you've been watching this channel for the most part the whole time and you're interested in seeing a little more off-world trading companies today, I would encourage you to check out some of the other channels that have been streaming Off-World Trading Company. That's going to include things like twitch.tv/bluesotc, twitch.tv/deathtacticus, or just pop over to wherever the live channels are right now, and you can check out the VODs. But for now, that's the end of our tournament. Evil Diablo has won, and that means it's going to be the end of our broadcast for the day.
All right. Well, I hope everybody enjoyed me being around. I certainly enjoyed talking with Zoltar.
It was good. I was glad to have you. Happy to have you joining me here today to provide two of us than just the one, trying to fill all that space with 4 players running around.
Yes. And I really enjoy doing commentary. I don't want to say I enjoy it more than playing, but about equally.
Yeah, they're both a good time. Well, on that note, it's going to be time for us to wrap things up for this particular broadcast. So
you have a good one.
Thank you, everyone, for watching. You too.
Bye. There we go. And